there any disappointment? Although it's always kind of fun to have a little banter with that guy.
No, there's no disappointment. And I just knew, we had literally, the only reason I knew is because we had communicated so quickly before the fight was even announced. So, literally me helping a couple of his buddies with my charity organization get jobs, him talking to me a little bit about, hey, I think I'm fighting Vanderlei Silva next, I may need some help training. And, we don't communicate that often together. We share a common mentor. But I think that was, one of the main reasons why. And, he hasn't always talked smack about every guy he's fought. And he's always been kind and respectful of me when I'm there.
You alluded a little bit to this yesterday, but so much of the talk is about his wrestling. But obviously we've seen you improve as time goes on as well. Where do you evaluate yourself in terms of wrestling? I mean, do you feel like, oh, this is one-sided in the wrestling department? Do you think people are underestimating you a little bit?
I think people are underestimating. I'm a difficult guy to wrestle to the ground. I'm also a very difficult guy to hold on. Chael's the best at doing those things, so we're going to find out quickly. But people forget, I train with some of the best guys in the world, and obviously I wouldn't be confident if I was losing every single second of every day in the gym. So I'm training with really good guys and having a lot of success there. So I feel good coming in here. And the other thing that I know in my heart is that, any one of my punches or kicks can completely turn a fight around. And up here and in here are the biggest factors in a fight. I don't care if I lose 14 minutes and 35 seconds in this fight. I still have 5 seconds to knock him out and finish him. That's going to be my mindset going in there. I'm focused on what I'm going to do to him, not on what he's going to do.
On a personal side, we know about your core values and your beliefs and that sort of thing. Chael went through some pretty difficult kind of moral things recently. What are your feelings on that, about him as a person and kind of, facing a guy that basically got accused and kind of convicted of cheating?
I think he's made some mistakes, and I think what we're seeing now is a better person. And we all make mistakes. I mean, I know, gosh, I made every mistake you could possibly make. And they've all made me a better person, just like my losses in fighting have made me a better person. And I've been guilty of judging people before without really, really knowing them. And I don't want to do that anymore. I don't ever want to do that. It's been done to me. And so I think he's grown as a person. And we fall to get back up. And everybody makes mistakes. When you're in the public eye, you got to be more careful. And so, I think he's learned maybe in recent weeks that he's going to slow down some of the talk maybe. And I think he's become a better person through it. But we'll find out. Only time will tell.
One of the things that Dana's talked about is how guys are reluctant to fight you because of your status and things you've achieved in your life and your popularity. Does that sometimes bother you that guys might be just reluctant to go against a fan favorite?
No, because I don't think it's that. I don't think it's necessarily true. I think it may have been true, for a guy like Vanderlei Silva who's beaten everybody, has nothing left to prove. He's a legend, so he only wants to fight fights to get excited. I didn't excite him. Chris even did. I can't blame him. And for Chael, who, there's a couple different guys he wanted to fight. He didn't want to fight me, and he ended up getting me. So I think there's a lot of young guys in the middle of the pack at 185 that would jump at a chance to fight me. So, but what Dana said, I did see it. I did hear about it. It's a tremendous honor for him to say that, and if other fighters feel that way, because I have the same amount of respect for them. This is not an easy way to make a living. This is a very difficult thing. It takes a lot inside here to get in that octagon for that many people and perform and put on the shows that we put on. And so I appreciate the other fighters, and I'm really fortunate that they appreciate it.
I think in the recent past, Chris Lieben's the only southpaw you faced. Can you just talk a little bit about the adjustments that you have to kind of make in training camp to prepare to fight someone like Chael after not having that much experience against left-handed?
Well, fortunately for me, I fought Lieben was a lefty, Macenzio was a lefty, Christoph was a lefty, and my first ever fight, Aaron Stark, was a lefty. So, and both of my coaches are lefties. So I love fighting lefties. I feel very comfortable in there striking with lefties, defending shots from lefties. So if I could fight Phil Davis again, I'd probably actually switch stances and fight the lefty.
Now, you started your career primarily as a striker. How do you think that you've improved to match up with the rest of the top tier of the middleweight division?
Yeah, I've had to add skills from everywhere. Early in my career, I just didn't have any of the knowledge available to me. And I've been so fortunate to be in a situation where not only do my coaches, but my training partners, even, Keith Jardine came into the gym to help coach me during this camp. He didn't have to do that. He's got his own career to worry about. Joey Villasenor did that. Tim Kennedy came in and did the same thing. John Jones took time out of his championship training camp to help me. And that's an environment where guys grow. And that's I'm a product of not only my coaches, but the people around me. And like anything in life, when you surround yourself with good people, good things happen. And I've been very fortunate.
Guys, we'll do 2 more, okay?
Since you mentioned that you would have fought Phil Davis as a southpaw possibly, with Chael being a southpaw, is that might we see you fighting as a southpaw here a little bit?
You may see me switch it up a little bit. I've been known to do it in the gym a little bit, but with Phil, it was just a certain thing which different sides he did takedowns, etc. I don't know what would I may have tried to fight in a handstand position against Phil if I fight him again because what I did didn't work. So now I'm a much better fighter back then, but yeah, I have a lot of different looks that I can give while we're on the feet, and we may see a couple different ones.
Are you going to come out like John Jones did in the early part of the
Does that qualify as a question?
That's my question, so 2 more.
If headbutts were legal and biting was legal, I absolutely would. With a head like this, I think I'd go. Me and Tito would be undefeated.
Right, you're obviously a very goal-driven fighter. Can you talk about where this win would put you along your current goal path, and if you've had to reevaluate with the nice run you've been on?
The big thing, my goal this year was to get into the top 10, solidify myself as a top 10 fighter, and solidify myself on the UFC roster. No more being on the bubble or the guy who could be cut. And my next goal now is to fight for a title, and that road goes through Chael Sonnen. And so in 2012, I want to fight for a title or be ready to fight for a title. That is my next goal, and beating Chael Sonnen is my step. That's the guy I have to beat. Right now, this is the biggest fight I've ever had, and this is my title fight, but I'm used to that. Every fight's the biggest fight. Lieben was a huge fight. Santiago was a huge fight. So I feel like all the pressure's really on Chael, especially with the odds. He's more than a 2-to-1 favorite here. He's supposed to win. Everybody wants to see him fight Anderson. Nobody's really giving me a chance in this fight, and I love that situation. I live for it.
Chael fights. He's very aggressive. Likes to move forward, shooting for the takedown. Do you like fighting that type of style? Is that kind of suit you?
If guys want to close the distance for me, I appreciate that. I have little T-Rex arms, so I actually appreciate. When I don't have to fight John in practice and he's all the way back here and I'm trying to hit him. So no, I feel comfortable, and that's what I've had guys been doing for 10 weeks. So. It's one thing to do it in training, and I've been successful, so now we got to see how I do on Saturday night, and I feel good about it.
All right, one quick question for UFC.com. There's another big fight coming up in your division with Mayhem Miller, Michael Bisping. Can you offer any predictions on how you think that fight's going to play out or how you evaluate it?
I haven't seen much of Mayhem's last couple of fights. I have noticed a definite difference in his physique. He's definitely gotten bigger, but I haven't seen the level of wrestling from Mayhem that it's going to take to defeat Bisping yet. I think Michael is going to be able to use his footwork, his really good kickboxing, and his cardio to beat Mayhem by decision. I think his striking is just a little bit more precise than Mayhem's, where Mayhem has an advantage on the ground, but again, you got to get Mike there, and Mike's got some pretty good wrestling himself. But that's a fight that could go either way, but that's kind of how I see it right now, but admitting that I haven't seen enough of Mayhem's recent work.
You mentioned Tim Kennedy. Do you think he'll end up in UFC?
I think Tim Kennedy will end up in the UFC, and I think he's going to do very well in the UFC. I think Tim Kennedy is the best mixed martial arts grappler I've ever met. And I love the guy. We'll be training together, and it's been a blast. He shared a lot with me this training camp, and I think he's got the mindset, the work ethic, and the skills to do very well in the UFC. I'm excited to get him out.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for